Warning? Spoilers ahead for The Rings of Power Episode 5. Why does Isildur hide the truth about Numenor's burning boats in The Lord of the Rings? The Rings of Power? All is not well on the idyllic Isle of Numenor west of Middle-earth. A cultural split has emerged, dividing the people into elf friends and elf skeptics. In order to halt Queen Regent Miriel leading an army of Númenóreans to Middle-earth in support of Galadriel, and spurred on a little by his new girlfriend, Kemen takes matters into his own hands. Pharazôn's son attempts burning the boats prepared for the journey, but is interrupted by Isildur woes plotting to stow away. When Elendil and other nearby guardsmen rush to the exploding bay, Isildur lies about the fire by offering, a cask must gone up. Why does Isildur protect Kemen here? In both the works of J.R.R. Tolkien and in Amazon's The Rings of Power, Isildur's personality is a curious blend of dutiful and selfish. On one hand, Hess almost always well-intentioned and shows an admirable sense of duty alongside great bravery. Unfortunately, Isildur is also prone to selfish flights of fancy, propelled by some misguided inner purpose that only he can perceive. It's this duality that explains Isildur's lie in The Rings of Power Episode 5. Maxim Baldry's character courageously rescues Kemen from the blast radius and swims him to shore, a noble act of heroism. But Isildur knows ratting on Kemen would mean the Númenórean tells everyone about the stowaway he found aboard one of the boats. Isildur lies to avoid losing his already slim chance of joining Galadriel's expedition to Middle-earth, a foolish act of selfishness. Isildur's lie could have major consequences in The Rings of Power because Isildur covers for Kemen in The Rings of Power Episode 5. Queen Regent Miriel is left to assume the fire was started by either a rogue brigand or a disgruntled member of the public. Had she known the real culprit was actually Pharazôn's son, she might have been inclined to take the matter far more seriously, realizing how deep-rooted her island's ill feeling truly is. At the very least, Kemen would have been locked in the dungeon as punishment for his fiery transgression. Since Isildur allowed him to walk free, however, the Chancellor's son can continue spreading discontent while Miriel fights in Middle-earth, joining his father and maybe even Isildur's sister Irian in plotting against the current regime, setting fire to yet more boats, figuratively speaking. How The Rings of Power teases Isildur's one-ring mistake. Isildur's name isn't written in the history books of Middle-earth because he saved the Chancellor's son from drowning in a fishing accident or because he got his friends fired from the Sea Guard. Isildur is famous as the man who cut the one ring from Sauron's finger and then refused to destroy it. This deed perfectly mirrors the inner struggle between valor and idiocy Isildur is currently experiencing in The Rings of Power. Relieving Sauron of his favorite ring represented Middle-earth's salvation, a one-time only feat that should have been celebrated by all races for centuries to come. Others might shied away from the challenge of Sauron, but Isildur heroically rose to the occasion during the last alliance of elves and men, just as he does when Kemen needs a helping hand in The Rings of Power. Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, Isildur believed the ring was his to claim and doomed Middle-earth to yet more misery. His lie about the burning ships in The Rings of Power similarly prioritizes selfish desires over doing the right thing, and thus teases the troubled future to come for this infamous Tolkien character. On both occasions, any cause for pride is overtaken by the entitled pride Isildur already uses. Join Amazon Prime, watch thousands of movies and TV shows anytime, start free trial now. The Lord of the Rings. The Rings of Power continues Thursday, Friday on Prime Video.